All right, there we go. In the middle of the night. Namaste, gapas. How are all of you? I am becoming a master by creating the biggest bags a man can have under his eyes with the work schedule I have. So guys, happy Wednesday to all of you. Yeah, it's like COVID all over again. No help, shortages, and 7-day work weeks for me. But hopefully you guys are well and working through my supposed day off yesterday. I was like, wow, I remember this from a long time ago. I want to share with you guys. So I want to give you guys a little history lesson here. Back in the late 40s, there was a little lad born in Germany, post-war Germany. Guy didn't fit in. Kind of sounds like Einstein, huh? But no, it's not Einstein. Kind of didn't fit in. And here he is at 15 years old. He's reading German philosophy while kids are out playing and going to school. He ended up leaving school at like 15 years old. He wanted to study philosophy because he was always depressed. He was always not feeling like himself. And back then in post-war Germany, and most likely throughout the world, you had to go to school, you had to learn this, had to go to church, had to do all these things in life. And he just didn't fit in. Kind of sounds like me. I just didn't want to fit in with people, man. I didn't want to conform. But I had to learn the hard way, and so did he. At the age of 22, I presume, correct me if I'm wrong on that, the guy splits. He goes, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm done with this Deutsche stuff, and I'm going to head over to London. And he knew several languages. He taught himself several languages. Went over there, became a teacher. And after a couple of years there, he still felt depressed. And here's this guy in his 20s. He said, you know what? This is not right. It shouldn't be this way in life. So what does he do? For 2 years, literally 2 years, I don't know how he did it. Maybe he worked on the side, maybe he taught some languages, but he sat in a park. I forgot which park in England, London, to be precise, and started reflecting on himself. Why am I feeling this way? Why are these things happening in my life? It kind of sounds like Facebook, huh? I'm seeing photos all the time of you guys literally posting from reflective places that you're visiting every day. You're following the path of this lad right here and myself, but it took me 10 years to figure that shit out. And basically, he came to the conclusion, I'm going to divulge his name because you guys know him. You know, even he had written many books throughout that time, but until a big O kind of found this guy, not a big O, not literally, but Oprah. Oprah found one of his books, read it, and he soon became one of the best-selling authors of spirituality, metaphysics that there is today. And his name, and I'm going to try to pronounce it now, and this is not like the George Michael thing again, I don't have to use syllables, but Deutsch names are hard, man. He actually changed his name. He was one name I couldn't even pronounce, but he went to a simple name called Eckhart. Eckhart Tolle, and it's Toole. It could be Tolle or Tolle. He's a German spiritual teacher, author, metaphysics, basically expert. And this guy literally figured out why he was depressed. He had an epiphany one night sitting in that park, and he realized that I'm depressed because I'm depressed. Me. He's pointing to himself, though, probably literally with his fingers. Wait, it's all pointing down to me. And we've been brought up in this adage of meant to be kind of thing. If it's meant to be, you guys know what I'm talking about. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. There's no other way out of it, meatball. You're stuck that way. And he said, wait, this is why I've been so depressed, because it's me that is deciding to be this way. And back then, they really didn't have medicine for that kind of stuff. And you kind of had to figure out life in your own way and your own realm. And the greatest minds were always perplexed by this depression theory that surrounded them, when they realized that they were causing a lot of their symptoms in life. He had some profound quotes, but I'm going to get to the quote box and I'll get to some of his profound quotes, because on the way back after working yesterday, I still had to do my chores per se. I had to go see Mom and bring her some food later in the day, and I couldn't even do my show last night with Kurt. I mean, I literally have to get up in the middle of the night now for this week just to help out, because help is so short. A lot of OT going on there. But after visiting Mom yesterday, I was heading home, and this is where the whole meant to be thing kind of kicked in. I listened to a podcast on my way home. I had about a half an hour the chill. And this guy was going on how there is some omnipotent power beyond us that is controlling our life. How many times have you guys heard that? How many times have you guys really, we were indoctrinated with that philosophy in life that there's a power outside of us controlling what's around us, inside of us, and us as people. Eckhart chose the latter on that. And he introduced us, like Bob Proctor did to me and so many other teachers out there, to a whole new realm of thinking. And getting back to me figuring it out, it was that those 10 years in that 12 by 12 of realizing that it was nothing more than me that was the problem. It was my way of thinking. There wasn't some omnipotent power. I was the omnipotent power. Does that make sense? Omnipotent is one who has unlimited power. Indeed, all of us think that way, but a lot of us have been taught that there's an omnipotent force outside of us controlling what's happening around us. Indeed, there could be some with your belief system, and I totally respect that. I totally respect that. But it was only when I realized, like Eckhart did, that I was the power. And for me to push that power out was my thought process. It was who I was as a person, what I was reflecting every single day. And this is just a great perspective on when you realize you have this amazing power within you to really create something out of thin air. It's an amazing analogy of life. It's an amazing feeling about yourself that you can bring to light. And you can, from those reflective periods that a lot of you guys are going through now, is those epiphanies about why things are happening in your life. And it happened to me on many occasions, but I was brought up in the belief of there's an omnipotent power outside of me that's controlling everything around me, hence that meant to be syndrome. So out of the quote box today, after that long banter, what is meant for me is created by me. And I already mentioned omnipotent, one who has unlimited power or authority. We have the unlimited power or authority of our thoughts and beliefs. And this is what we send out every single day. And this is that omnipotent power that comes back to us via the law of attraction, or hence the laws of the universe, like attracts like syndrome. Hence, all-powerful is a synonym of that. The most important word in that quote was meant. Meant is a state or condition resulting from a specific or specified action. What does that tell you? It's how you're acting, meatball. It's what you're thinking about. And if you understand what you're thinking about, what you're feeling, you understand what you're thinking, but what you're bringing to your life every single day. And a couple quotes out of one of Eckhart's books. And guys, really, I mean, the guy, he brought spirituality to the third power, in my opinion. With his philosophy that it's really simple. It's really simple. Get back to the source, man. Get back to the source of who you are. And realize you think they're happening, things are meant for you because they are created by you. So here's a couple little tidbits of Eckhart's work, man. If you guys want to check him out, feel free. Guy's everywhere. He's everywhere. He really came to power from Oprah's book club back in 03, I think it was. And back in 03, I was going through the myriad of issues with my life, and I wish I found them back then, because his story is actually very profound. It's basically, he did what all of us do in that search of self in life. And he did it with balls to the wall. You know, you guys can do the same thing. I did it on a more passive level. I was a big chicken shit. I figured I'll just sit here and wait for the omnipotent power to come fix my problems for me. And I'll pray and I'll believe. No, because I still had the thought process of a loser and failure. And that's so important. If you're trying to get through something, you have to be your own cheerleader. You got to be your own spiritual teacher. You got to be your own coach to get you through. Anything I can say is irrelevant. It's what you believe in is that what comes true. Because what you believe, you start to feel. And that feeling sends out energy, which can only connect to that same feeling, hence those same thoughts, hence the law of attraction. So here's a couple of words before I head back to work today. Blessed as usual, guys. Eckhart Tolle, a German spiritual teacher, author. And for some reason, and I say this, I've always said this, be the best you and all good will come back to you. He's noting this in the most profound way. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize I was projecting his work, not even not even going into his work. Listen to his words. Give each step your present attention right now, here. The best attention. And what does that say? Right now. What are you sending out right now? Because whatever you're sending out right now is sending out there and attracting back to you exactly what you're sending out at this moment. And he goes on to say, and he came up with an amazing set of words for this. Now is the primary. Now is the primary. The destination is secondary. How many of you guys are overthinkers? And you're always trying to project yourself to the next moment. What you're setting yourself up for is disaster, because you're not focusing on right now. Because if you're trying to set up for the next moment or the objective goal in mind, you're telling the universe that you're missing something. What he's explaining so perfectly in these quotes and his work is that living right now and projecting out those feelings of who you are, that whole you, the person you've always wanted to be, can only bring back to you that. And he did it so perfectly. He also went on to say, if you do it your best, it leads you to the next best moment, and the next best moment, and the next best moment. You know, when you keep doing the best, when you keep sending out that best you every day, and here I am working 100 hours, it's not going to affect my mood, because I know every moment now in the present, I'm sending out the next present moment. So whatever you're desiring, it's okay to desire to live in that end kind of thing, but what are you projecting out right now? And I'll leave you with this. You decide your future by being totally aligned with the present moment. So if you want to be successful in the future, or if you want to have a better life in the future, you have to live your life right now in a mindset and feeling all the time. And keep doing that. Keep being your best. Keep projecting your best. Keep sending out that best you. Because this is the omnipotent power that he was talking about, which drove me knocking futs for many years. Because here I am brought up with a dad who was a deacon and telling me that there's somebody else out there controlling your life. But Eckhart and many of the mystical teachers and theologians back then, anybody who understands quantum physics, quantum mechanics, metaphysics, understands this principle. The basic rudiments of creation is you. You're the omnipotent force. You are the thought process of the next life you want to live. And if you keep doing that every day with consistency, that's the key. You can't just live, 10 minutes in this abundant rainbow and unicorn mindset. It has to be a constant thing. So if you're constantly focusing on the end goal, you're missing the primary, and you're focusing on the secondary. The primary is right now, the present moment. And whatever you're projecting now in this present moment is creating the next present moment. And this is a great riddle to be solved in your life if you keep hitting a wall, because you keep thinking of the wall that you keep hitting. It's just something for you guys to think about, man. It's something for you guys to really ponder in your everyday life. And if you really take an inventory of your thoughts every day and figure out what's going on in your life every day, you'll understand exactly where you're going, because whatever is meant to be is created by me, you, us. We create the steps forward by our present thoughts that we're sending out right now. And if you keep doing that with consistency every day, which we all do, we have all created the messes in our lives, not realizing that we keep sending out the messes to recreate the messes. It's just something for you guys to think about. It's my belief system. It's the millions of beliefs of other people with the same narrative in their lives that have changed it for the better. All I'm saying is I lived on both sides of the coin, man. I lived believing that there was an omnipotent power outside of me controlling my life. It did me nothing but bring me to a place of failure, but an epiphany to realize why I became a failure. And it's just something for you guys to think about for yourself, guys. So I have to go to work. America's Mentor _ radio on Instagram, at America's Mentor Twitter. I feel like a vampire. A vampire with a mohawk. But guys, at America's Mentor on YouTube. Guys, thank you for the Jackson views. Please follow me, Jerry Maldonado 2. These kind of broadcasts for now are kind of coming in sporadically. But guys, enjoy your Wednesday. I'm off to work, man, and getting some Java. Have a great day, guys.